This feature's also just not interesting. Like, two other ranger features existed prior to this getting printed that gave you this effect, and then they printed it again. Huh?
Yeah, but you can stack it this time.
You could stack it. You couldn't stack it before, but take
Right.
concentration. Still, I don't care about stacking it that much. It's 2 rounds. The thing's gonna die anyway, and I might get a bonus D6 out of it. And it's once per turn, so it doesn't even scale with extra attack. I'm really low on this feature.
Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West. And today is another Martial Monday. And today we are covering the Ranger subclass Monster Slayer.
That just describes like every D&D character, right? Like
No,
100% of them.
the ones that survive.
Yeah, all right. The ones that don't die in their first encounter, they get the
Yes.
title of Monster Slayer. Everyone else doesn't count.
Monster food.
Yep. This is the Van Helsing, right? That's the whole gimmick. Is you're the edgy, dark. I'm the monster. The real monster was humanity hunting the werewolf kind of character. That's the whole gist here. I do think that is a cool character concept. I'm not making fun of it. I am making fun of it a little bit, but I'm also embracing it because it's fun. There's something that is deeply satisfying to me about watching Van Helsing with a holy crossbow just like wreck some things. I don't know how.
I mean, that makes a lot of sense in our world with the supernatural element. Not so much in a D&D world where there's just monsters everywhere, and I'm going to rid this world of like 80% of its species.
It really
Then
does
you're
feel
just
like,
an eco-terrorist.
yeah, you're a refined eco-terrorist. An eco-terrorist that specializes in killing bears is kind of what it looks like, right? A predator. Yeah, you specialize in hunting the biggest of game. You're more a big game hunter at that point than you are a monster slayer. Anyway, aesthetics. This is still definitely going to give you that fantasy that you're looking for. I think the spell list more so than anything else sort of sells fantasy. So the Rangers updated outside of the player's handbook, the one starting in Xanathar's out. They all get bonus spells. So they get Monster Slayer magic in this case. Basically, you get a free spell you prepare at 3rd, 5th, 9th, 13th, and 17th level. Whenever you get new spell slots, or when you get this, you get a new spell. The 3rd level option gives you protection for evil and good. Get that at will. Huge fan of that spell at will. Your thoughts on the pro evil and good?
I forgot what it does.
It gives you immunity to some of the conditions that are applied by undead, fae, fiends, elementals, that kind of stuff. And it gives,
That's good.
yeah, it gives them disadvantage attacking the target. You put it on something, last 10 minutes concentration.
Yeah.
Aberrations, celestials, elementals, fae, fiends, and undead. Those are the 6 types of effects.
Yeah, your 3rd level. I mean, this feels like a more appropriate level to get it than normally getting at 1st level. I feel like when you're at 3rd level, you're going to be running into more of these types of creatures.
That's true. I also love that it's auto-prepared, so when you need it, you'll have it. And you will need it a lot. 6 creature types is a lot, and it also gives immunity to the charms, fears, and the possessions of those things too.
Like that.
I'm a huge fan.
Oh, yeah.
This next one, it really fits the thematic, but I don't think it's that good. It's Zone of Truth. This is the interrogation bubble where, like, not John Wick, what's his name? Constantine has a demon tied to a chair that's like a swarm of flies and it's got it contained with holy water or whatever, and it's just interrogating it as the devil's location. That's what this kind of is. It's not that good, though,
yeah,
right?
but it's not going to work like that. I mean, you can choose to just not talk.
Then you get tortured by the Monster Slayer, I guess. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe. It's an interrogation tool. I like Zone of Truth more than the average person because I have fond memories of it, but it's not mechanically that powerful. Next one on this list is Magic Circle, which is again in the same realm. This creates a 10-foot radius, 20-foot tall cylinder of magical energy. It takes a minute to set up and lasts for an hour, and it requires holy water, powdered silver with at least 100 gold that it consumes. So already, this is exactly what I envision the Monster Slayers, like, their bread and butter. They know how to get the exact right ingredients to do these things, and then things can't enter the circle or exit the circle of the specific type you pick when you cast the spell.
Right.
So Celestials, Fiends, Fae, Undead, that kind of stuff.
Now this, I remember we did a video on this and we got a lot of comments that we weren't using it properly or we weren't discussing the proper use of it, which is to actually set up the circle and then summon a demon into it.
Because that never happens.
think some
It's
commenters might disagree.
it's cute. That's a once in a campaign kind of event.
Yeah.
That isn't a regular thing that you're doing. When you're summoning a demon these days, you're casting Summon Fiend, and that thing just likes you, right? You're not doing a
Yeah.
convoluted method of putting it in a trapped circle and finding the esoteric books that have demonic rituals and names written in them, written in children's blood. You're not doing that anymore because that, just fell out of favor gameplay wise, I guess. I
Yeah.
like it thematically. I don't think that's realistically happening, and that carries over to this conversation. Is to say, I don't think this spell's going to get that
Well,
much
if you're
use.
not doing that, then I remember the rest of the conversation we had.
Yeah, not being that favorable, right?
This is really difficult to get any use out of.
Yeah, 100%. I will give it this. This is the character I would most expect to set that up. This
Yeah.
is the character I'd most expect to be like, oh, I hunted a demon. I killed it like 4 years ago. Didn't know the name of the person that we're looking for. We'll call him out of hell. I'll put a box around him and we'll get the name out of him one way or another. That is absolutely in this character's wheelhouse, thematically. I
Yeah.
get why it's here. It's richly flavorful for selling the fantasy. It's kind of a dookie spell, and you might do that once a campaign, and that's fine. This next one's not dookie, though. This next one's a baller. It banishment. Holy cow, this thing gets banishment?
Yeah. That's 13th level.
Still, banishment's
Still
really...
banishment, yeah.
It's one of those spells that scales in the upper tiers because you get rid of scarier things. Yeah,
That's
I'm
true.
in. Permanently gets rid of
And
them if you can maintain concentration? Sure.
and I mean, I guess as a ranger you can only upcast this one level.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that definitely happens 17th level, but a 5th level banishment is closer than a lot of 5th level spells are to 9th level spells. So let's get that going for it. You cap out on Hold Monster. I'm normally a big fan of Hold Monster. It's 17th level, it's sure a tall order, but like, as far
It's
as 5th level
there.
goes, it's one of the better options you could get. So, perk to it there.
And you're not gonna, I mean, it's prepared automatically. You're not gonna not use it. You'll get something out of it.
I think this list, pro, evil, and good, is definitely going to carry you through a lot of the encounters you're expected to be good in. I like that. I like that this will highlight you are good at specifically hunting these things, these otherworldly entities. That's great. And while Zundred Magic Circle kind of dookie, getting banishment at 14 levels kind of great. And
13.
all of these definitely, 13. All these definitely sell the fantasy that the class is trying to go for, right? That
All right.
you are Van Helsing.
That said, we're going from 3rd level to 13th level. Let's see if we're actually going there.
Yeah, that's a good question. So we start with Hunter's Sense. At 3rd level, you get the ability to peer at a creature and magically discern how best to hurt it as an
Talk about its mother.
As an action, choose one creature you can see within 60 feet. You immediately learn whether the creature has any damage, immunities, resistances, vulnerabilities, and what they are. If the creature is hidden from you, if the creature is hidden from divination magic, you sense that it has no damage. If the creature is hidden from, I understand. If the creature is hidden from divination magic, you sense that it has no immunities, resistances, or vulnerabilities. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier, minimum of 1, so you gain all when you finish a long rest. That's a lot of words for not a feature.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it doesn't take any time. I thought I was looking through the text to see if
it takes an action.
Yeah.
That's time. That's a real round in combat.
I was talking about like, observe it for 3 minutes or something. But no, yes, that is a tangible amount of time.
There definitely is a subclass in this game that's got like you have to observe something for 3 hours to learn its weakness. I'm like, what the hell are we doing?
Inquisitor, the mastermind. What was that? Yeah.
This is better than poop? Yeah, I guess. Not by a lot. The reality is, in a game that has more interesting resistances, vulnerabilities, and stuff, this would be a real feature. In a game where your job is to pinpoint monsters' weaknesses, this could be an ability. D&D isn't that game, though. It's just the reality of the situation. Things are usually resistant or immune to non-magic weapon damage, at most. Sometimes the fire creature will be resistant or immune to fire damage. And that's kind of the
what I was
extent.
gonna say. Like, you can, you're either an experienced player and you already know the creature's immunities and resistances and whatnot, or you're an inexperienced player, but you can take a pretty good guess a lot of the times,
Or like figure it out by shooting a shot at it, right? Be like, I wonder if this resistant to my bow. Shoot it. That'll tell you the answer too, probably. Yeah. As opposed to, is this immune to my bow? Let's find out. Yeah, I put quite literally 0 value in this feature. You get another one though. You get Slayer's Foray. So starting at 3rd level, you can focus your ire on one foe, increasing the harm you inflict on it. It is just fun. These sentences are funny.
Yes.
As a bonus action, you designate a creature you see within 60 feet of you as the target of it. The first time each turn you hit it with a weapon attack, it takes a bonus d6 damage from the weapon. The benefit lasts until you finish a short or long rest. It ends early if you designate a different creature. So this is an at-will mark, basically, an at-will hunter's mark if it's within 60 feet of you, right? Because
All right. I suppose that designate one creature. All right. So, all right. It lasts until you finish a short or long rest.
it ends early if you pick a different creature. So you
Okay.
can't like pick it. I get a d6 on all those as bonus actions. You pick something, you have a d6 on it until you pick something else, or a short or long rest occurs. The idea being you could pick something,
What do you mean
track
if
it
you
for a day, get the bonus d6 damage.
if you designate a different creature, it just doesn't work though, right?
The effect ends early on the affected creature if you designate a different creature. So the
I know,
new
but
creature will take the bonus damage, the old one will not.
oh, all right. So you can jump around with different
Yes.
creatures. Okay. Okay.
Yes. This is again kind of like an at-will hunter's mark. Is that
Yes.
good? And it only applies to the
Better
first
than the
attack
other
each turn?
third level feature.
Technically, yeah. It's a bonus d6 damage for a bonus action, and then it sticks around though, which is a little bit more meaningful, but it is gated to again once per attack. They also updated Ranger to have a new feature called Favored Foe, I think, which does a similar thing. And what ends up happening, so this is the first time you hit an enemy marked by your favored foe, you get a bonus d4 damage. You can use it a number of times equal to some number, your proficiency bonus, I think. And then, yeah, when you hit a creature, you can cause the mystical bar and deal a d4 damage. And you have to concentrate on it. You don't have to concentrate on this. So you can have both effects up, and then your first round bonus action marks it with your Slayer's Prey, whatever the feature is called in this thing. Yes, Slayer's Prey. Your second round, you bonus action mark it with the other thing. Now you're going to d6 and d4 damage to it every turn. That's kind of neat, right?
Sure.
You're gonna like really targeting down one thing.
And then you can, I mean, you wail on it for an extra 10 points a hit until it dies, and then you can switch it over.
Yeah, you're welcome to switch it at any point.
Yeah.
You just designate a thing, and that thing is now marked. Favorite foe, also can work with it. Hunter's mark is the same thing as favorite foe, or bonus action mark a thing. Then you can do the bonus damage, but that's on every hit.
Now, if you're also using sharpshooter, are you just nailing stuff for an extra 20 points an attack? Or
Yeah, that's carrying the vast majority of your damage.
yes.
But like sharpshooter also applies to all of your attacks. And
Yeah.
as we talk about every single time a bonus action comes up, that conflicts directly with a crossbow expert. And
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you. The first thing I want my Van Helsing character to have is crossbow expert. Right? If I'm doing the monster hunter,
the Van
I have
Helsing,
two-hand crossbows and I'm gunning things down. Right?
if you're doing Van Helsing, yes.
That's the iconic look. And they
There
made
are
a
other
feature that
monster
doesn't work with it.
slayers. Yeah, that's all right. That's on them.
That's a huge miss in my flavor book. This feature's also just not interesting. Like, two other Ranger features existed prior to this getting printed that gave you this effect, and then they printed it again. Huh?
Yeah, but you can stack it this time.
You could stack it. You couldn't stack it before, both take concentration.
Right.
Still, I don't care about stacking it that much. It's 2 rounds. The thing's gonna die anyway, and I might get a bonus d6 out of it. And it's once per turn, so it doesn't even scale with extra attack. I'm really low on this feature. We talked about it as if, like, getting the confusing stuff aside. At the end of the day, all you've got at third level is you prepared for Grow and Good Evil, and you get a d6 bonus action kind of thing. I'm not impressed. Are you?
I'm not super impressed. I don't feel any different right now. I don't feel like a monster slayer.
Like, I think Hunter gives you a better Monster Slayer fantasy, right? Because that's just an automatic D8 if you do Colossus Slayer. It's a whirlwind attack if you want to kill the hordes of demons. Like, you can build your own Monster Slayer by just playing Hunter. You miss out on the spell list, but
yeah,
currently I like that more.
I'm with you there.
All right, 7th level gives us supernatural defense. At 7th level, you gain extra resilience against your prey's assaults on your mind and body. When the target of your Slayer's prey forces you to make a saving throw, and whenever you make an ability check to escape the target's grapple, add a d6 to your roll. Hard pass.
That's well, I mean that could save you, from saving throws and stuff or grapples if that happens. But yeah, I'm not excited about it.
This is helpful against one creature's saves, assuming it goes after you. If it goes before you with a hold person, you're like, ah, shit. I didn't
Oh,
get to
this
mark
has to
you in
be
time.
your prey. Oh,
Yes.
oh no, I'm a lot lower on it now.
It's not every
Yeah,
saving throw you get a bonus d6.
yeah.
It is the marked creature, you get a d6. If you mark the thing, kill it, and something else imposes a saving throw on you, you didn't move it in time, man. Unlucky. If it does impose a save on you, like you would obviously do this against like a cinematic dragon encounter or whatever. Okay, you get a bonus d6 to your save against the dragon breath attack. Alright?
That's
Is that
it's not a 7th level feature I'm excited about.
me neither. And it's the only thing
And
you get at 7th level. I will say this, compared to like resistance to poison damage, this is way better. This is better on average than a lot of bad defensive features because this is a flexible bonus to your saving throws. You will realistically use this in every encounter that a saving throw exists in. I can absolutely see that being the case. It's just still not that exciting. It's not something new to
no.
do. It's not an empowering feature all that much. It's just a defensive boon, a minor one.
Yeah, let's keep moving.
Magic User's Nemesis is our 11th level feature. You gain the ability to thwart someone else's magic when you see a creature casting a spell or teleporting within 60 feet of you. You can use your reaction to try and magically foil it. Creature makes a wisdom saving throw against your spell save DC, or its spell or teleport fails and it's wasted.
Ooh.
Once you use this feature, you can't again until you finish a short or long rest. I really wish this just gave you counterspell. Like, I really wish 9th level instead of Magic Circle just said counterspell, and then you got a different 11th level feature. It's a lot worse, but it is still beneficial. Like, this is a beneficial feature, undoubtedly, right?
Yes. How is it worse?
So, counterspell lets you use your spell slots on it, and you have
Okay.
more 3rd level spell slots than you have one. Like, you
Oh,
get one of these per short rest.
yeah.
You can have 3 counterspells per fight. That's a huge difference, right?
Yes, yes, yes. I thought you meant like the actual mechanics of it.
Yeah. Though also, counterspell never misses if it's 3rd level or lower. This doesn't work. This gives them an opportunity to pass even if they use a 2nd level Misty Step, where a counterspell would always stop the Misty Step.
I noticed they like specifically mentioned teleporting, like cast a spell or teleport. Am I to take that means teleport without spell casting? Yeah, okay. So
If you are hunting blink dogs for some reason, that might be a bad example. They might blink out of existence. Let me check. But there are plenty of creatures in this game that have a layer action or legendary action teleport. There are plenty of big, scarier threats that can teleport around. Yeah, you could do this on blink dogs if you wanted to.
okay, well that's neat.
I think it's a neat feature. I really wish they got more than one use of it.
Yeah.
This would be hugely beneficial to say a proficiency bonus number of times per long rest. Or like
Yeah,
your
that's
whiz
a
mod
thing they do.
times per long rest even. I would be way higher on it. The short rest recharge is not doing this thing any service. Because you can use it once per fight. And that's not enough. For some fights. It's still, again, it's
And I
better
mean
than not getting counterspell, but
I mean like this is another feature you're not going to use every time. You're not always against teleporters or spellcasters.
yeah, this is definitely a feature that will range table to table and encounter to encounter even at table to table, right? They'll be
Yeah.
against 2 frost giants and their their ice wolves. You'll go, they're throwing rocks at me. Like, this doesn't do anything. We end on Slayer's counter, 15th level. You gain the ability to counterattack when your prey tries to sabotage you. If the target of your Slayer's prey forces you to make a saving throw, you can use your reaction to make one weapon attack against the quarry. You make this attack immediately before making the saving throw. If the attack hits, your save automatically succeeds, in addition to the attack's normal effects. That's cool.
I guess, but I mean, so much has to happen for this to do anything. I mean, all right, you have to target your prey, and they have to force a saving throw on you.
Yes.
That's how often is this happening?
Against liches,
I guess,
often. Against other
yeah, I mean,
things, never. Sometimes.
yeah, you're 15th level, maybe then.
I think what's particularly funny is things like werewolves don't impose any saving throws.
Yeah.
And that's the monster I would most expect this to excel against, which I think is a big whiff flavor-wise. What this
And I
ends
mean, I
up...
guess you got vampires. What do?
They suck your blood.
Yeah. I guess do they cast spells or?
They turn into mist. They have unarmed strike. They have bites that can grapple things. Grappling, this doesn't work
Do
against
they
grappling, notably.
do
Can,
anything that
they have a
forces saving
charm.
throws?
This
Okay.
charming forces a saving throw. So that could be it. Most of what they're doing, though, is clawing and biting. So
if they try to charm the Monster Slayer.
I would expect a vampire in most of the things that are enforcing the saving throws at this tier do their research. They're tracking the party. The big villains that you care to use this again know you can do this, probably, or would expect the one trained to slay monsters probably has the best mental fortitude against them, and they'll pick the barbarian idiot to magically charm or dominate, right? The fact that this only does affect you is a huge, huge bummer. If your marked creature makes a save against anyone, you could shoot them, I'd be super into it. It'd be a lot more interesting. And you'd have a party dynamic where you're the protector, where you go, stop trying to possess my friends. That's a cool look. Instead, it's just you. So the windows in which this is good is much smaller. When it is good, it's a free attack. I like free attacks that automatically pass saves. That when this happens, the impact is incredibly high. It just isn't happening that often for me to get excited about it.
No, very little of this stuff we're getting is happening enough for me to get excited about. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Monster Slayer.
Yeah, I am not either.
I like what you said before. Make a hunter, call it a Monster Slayer.
Yeah, honestly, I would even advocate Hunter is not that powerful. Staple Monster Slayer magic to it. Take the good subclass and give it a little bit of the extra needed spells that Braider's desperately missing, and that is a perfectly functional Monster Slayer. Better yet, just add these spells to the Ranger spell list if they're not on it, and let the Monster Slayer, the Hunter, take those spells. That also would be a serviceable way to get most of the flavor while not having to take features that are boring and underwhelming in some cases. I think there are a lot of neat ideas here. I think Magic User's Nemesis is neat. Conceptually, I think it's way too infrequent to be that powerful. And Slayer's counter, again, it has that high ceiling. If you ever pass a Dominate person with a Slayer's counter, you waste their turn, nug them for an extra 15 to 30 damage. Yeah, that's sweet. Then you'll be against, again, the giant Draco Lich that bites you 3 times, and you go, this did nothing to help me against that. So, your mileage is going to vary when you play this thing, and I don't think it's going to be that impressive. I'm going to give this thing a D. It's not unusable. There are features here that do some stuff. Slayer's Praise extra damage. Supernatural Defense is a bonus to saves. It is something. You will target the thing most likely going to make you make saving throws, and you are likely to add a D6 to those saves, and that is something. Neither of those are interesting new ways to engage with the game. Neither of those ways change how you're approaching most combats. Most of the time, it's just, I now mark something else instead when I was already a class that marked stuff.
Well, none of this, except even Slayer's Praise, none of this is giving you new stuff to do.
Magic User's Nemesis, I think, definitely does. That is a new thing to do. It's just
it's
niche.
still just a defensive thing. You're stopping somebody else from doing something. You're not doing something.
You're not getting a lot of exploration tools with this. You're not getting any, I make a different kind of attack with this.
Yeah.
That's definitely
D sounds fair. I mean, I'm recalling some of the things we gave Fs, and it's certainly better than those.
Oh, yeah. This has features. Undoubtedly, this does things, and we've seen some classes that's not the case.
I mean, you said Hunter is not powerful, but I'm so much more excited to play a Hunter than I am to play this.
Same.
All right. That was the Monster Slayer Conclave. Thank you, Sam, and thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let us know what you think down in the comments. Do we have any Monster Slayer fans? Yeah, you have one guy I know.
Are there other, I want to know, more interesting to me, are there more huge flavor fails with famous monster slayers that this just definitively doesn't work with? Are there real monsters out there that this is supposed to be good at that it's just terrible against, and it this is the thing it's supposed to hunt? Because that's funny to me. I think that's enjoyable.
Yeah. All right, share your thoughts and like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.